Oh my god, we're sensational, aren't we?
Majestic, wonderful, so good.
He cemented his claims as the next Ballydor jockey.
We're going to disagree on this next race here, which is going to be interesting.
The lack of runners just killed the race.
Very good performance from St. Marks Basilica.
No.
Oh no. Hello and welcome to the Next Gen Racing YouTube channel for our weekend review where we look over what's just happened over the last week, and I cannot discuss what's happened over last week, and let's just excuse the racing for a minute, Jack, but oh my god, it's coming home.
There's literally no other words. I mean, everyone who's watching this not liking the input of the England Euros team, I mean, oh my god, we're sensational, aren't we?
We really are, and if you're not liking the fact that we're talking about England, you've only got 2 more videos left, and then that'll be it. I mean, we'll probably actually discuss it on the review from after the final, but we're going to win it, and it's as simple as that. But we are here to talk racing initially, and we'll talk over some of the big races from the weekend. And we'll start off with the Lancashire Oaks. That was won by Alpinista, Jack. I mean, a decent horse finished behind Love last season. And the one question I'd have, I know the ground wasn't ideal for any sort of flat horse this weekend. It's not the best ground you want for the top quality horses. But Alpinista, she did it really well. But Mystery Angel and Dubai Fountain, maybe a slight knock to the Oaks form. What were your opinions on that?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, it's quite hard, obviously, when they're coming up against the older horses for the first time, especially the older fillies like Alpinista, who has finished behind Love, albeit, 5.5 lengths or whatever. But I think it's kind of it's a big jump, as that showed, from opposing 3-year-olds to above that. I don't know if you can fully knock the Oaks form just yet, and I think you kind of have to have a few others come out. Of course, Zayada came out and won, Willow came out and won, so I think you have to have a few others come out and see how it goes from there.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's a really nice performance from Alpinista, considering that she potentially won't mind sort of better ground either, so she could come on to do much better things. I don't know where she could go next, but it could be the same race, I guess, as the Yorkshire Oaks could go next.
Yeah, probably.
Probably might likely see her there, maybe against Love again, you never know. Could potentially be an option. But we'll then go over, before we get on to the big race on the weekend, which was the Eclipse, we'll go on to the Grand Prix de Saint-Cloud, because it was a really fascinating race to watch, and you tweeted about the jockey straight after, Colin Keane aboard Broome. It was absolutely mustard from the front.
Yeah, it was a Colin Keane masterclass, wasn't it? I mean, he knew that he had to make all if he had any chance of beating any of them. I mean, the horse doesn't really have more than 2 years, does he? I mean, he doesn't really have a turn of foot or anything like that. And I mean, yeah, Colin Keane just got it perfect. I think he got the fractions perfect, and yeah, he cemented his claims as the next Ballydor jockey.
Yeah, and he beat Insweep, who was a favourite on the day, Jack. And I don't know what we make of Insweep, because it obviously finished second in the Arc last season. You know, is Broome now an Arc contender?
No, I don't think so at all. I mean, I think you need to show more than that to win the Arc. I mean, the Prix de Saint-Cloud's been okay as kind of like a piece of Arc form. I don't know how exceptional it would be this year. I mean, you've got a few perhaps exceptional mile-and-a-half contenders. You look at Tanawa, perhaps even Adea, Love. I mean, the list goes on. You've got Wonderful Tonight in there as well. I mean, I don't think you can look into it too deeply. I mean, you got Abeya in behind, who just beat Rabiha on the last 2 starts. So, no, I don't think so.
Yeah, I think the key is with the fillies at the moment in the Arc. And obviously, we still haven't seen Tanawa. We'll probably see her in hopefully a few weeks' time come out and sort of come towards the back end of the season. Looking forward to seeing her out. But I think the Arc is firmly with the fillies at the moment. I'm sure they're sort of all at the top of the market at this moment in time. Now, before we came on, you said we're going to disagree on this next race here, which is going to be interesting, so I can't wait to hear your opinions. But the Eclipse, St. Marks Basilica, beautiful, majestic, wonderful, so good. A really decent winner of this race. He's top class, and I'm hoping he's the only Italian-based name that will be winning on English soil over the next few days. But it's just, Aidan O'Brien's just a master. Like, he's a master trainer. I mean, I was looking at it today. He's second in the French Trainers' Championship, and he's first in the English Championship, and he's only had 8 winners. Like, he comes over, he brings the right horse, he wins the big races. But out of a 4-runner, a very classy 4-runners, or at least some people will argue maybe 3-runners, but it was a very good performance from St. Marks Basilica.
No.
Oh no!
Okay.
This is where we disagree.
So no. Let me get this straight. It was a very good performance. His turn of foot he showed was exceptional, and he did everything that was asked of him. But we spoke about it last week on our preview that the lack of runners just killed the race. I mean, there was so many seconds slower than the handicap over the same distance on the day. They just went at a door to early doors, which I'm surprised that Mishrif actually allowed them to, because obviously he's a bit more of a stair than the others. But I mean, it's not a surprise to me that the horse who's been running over a mile a few weeks ago came out to win it. I mean, yeah, it was a very good performance, but it was more a turn of foot than a test. I kind of want something more than that for me to prove that he's going to be better. I mean, I'd like to see Mishreef oppose him again with a bigger field and perhaps a stronger early gallop. Yeah. And then I think it just reinforces that the 3-year-old allowance is a bit of a joke. I mean, he didn't need that 3-year-old allowance. I get the jump up, of course, when they're not opposing the 3-year-olds. But again, I don't know how strong the form of his Prix de Jockey Club was. Mm-hmm. But then again, I mean, he's completely proved me wrong. And he did show an exceptional turn of foot. But I'd just like to perhaps give Mishreef a chance of reversing that form later in the season.
And it sounds like you want to see St. Marks Basilica do it once again, sort of to really cement it. Yeah. I mean, it's very interesting to hear Aidan O'Brien afterwards where this horse goes. A lot of people want this horse to go to the Arc. I personally don't see this horse staying. I think this is more of maybe an Irish Champion Stakes horse. Maybe even there was discussion of the Sussex Stakes still entered in the Sussex. I'm not 100% sure whether this horse will go there. Well, where would you potentially go? Would you keep this horse to the Mile and 2 and go for something like the Judgment next, or would you potentially take the risk with a speedy horse like that and go for the Mile?
No, I think it has to be the Judgment. I mean, now you stepped him up from a Mile. I can't really see him going back to a Mile, especially against the older horses. I mean, a bit different from a Guineas. But no, I think he'd be an exceptional horse over a Mile 2. I hope they don't try the Arc with him. Ballydor already have some exceptional Arc contenders.
Exactly.
I don't think they need to try it with him.
No, Aidan O'Brien, the way he was speaking, doesn't sound like he was too keen on going that route. He'll never write it off, but he didn't seem too keen. And I actually wanted to... I have a horse to note this week, and it came from the Eclipse, and a horse that maybe everyone wrote off, and that was El Drama, who I didn't think ran a really poor race considering his price, and everyone kind of wrote him off, said it was a free runner race, but he's only 2.5 lengths behind the likes of Mishreef. I think that the horse, I mean, he's only a 3-year-old at the moment. I think he's going to be winning Group 2s, Group 3s comfortably towards the back end of this season, and he could pick up some decent prize. I was quite impressed by his run. I thought he'd be well tailed off. So.
Yeah, and of course that's a big boost to the Maximal Form, who just finished behind him.
I knew that was coming here, but I think Sheikh Mohammed Abid's got a really nice type there. Have you got a horse to note from the weekend, Jack? Any performances that you wanted to put up?
I think it was Fear By in the Dragon Listed Stakes, which I'd put up Instinctive Move for. I thought that was a really impressive performance, won it by 5 lengths, and I mean you had Kaboo in behind, who is obviously going to be very capable in probably in a few runs' time, and Instinctive Move, who wasn't good enough on the day. I mean, I think that was an exceptional performance. Yeah,
it may just have been. I think Instinctive Move, I actually liked the horse as well before the race. I went back and looked at the form, and I do think that maybe that race could turn out to be quite smart as well, Jack. So interesting to see where that horse goes. Now, before we end the video, it's time. Predictions. This is it. Predictions. So we are facing Denmark on Wednesday night at 8 p.m. and this man here is there.
I'm going to be there.
He's going to be. I'm sure you'll see some images or videos on Jack's Twitter.
Make sure you follow
see
me.
what it's like. Yeah, do follow Jack. Yeah, while you're here, follow Jack. But it's going to be a really decent game. I said this, Jack, so Denmark are now playing for something more than just the Euros. They're playing for Ericsson. They seem a very motivated side, and they're a team that a lot of people at the start, if you said Denmark are going to win the tournament, they'd all say you're talking a load of nonsense. But they have looked really good, Jack. There's no doubt about it. But what do we make of England facing them at Wembley on Wednesday?
I mean, we've got to beat them, haven't we? I mean, we played some liquid football against Ukraine. We were sensational. I mean, it's the best performance of the tournament so far. I think if we show 80% of that, we get the better of them. Of course, they'll be more defensively solid than the Ukraine. But, I mean, I think it'll be a nice 2-0 victory, I hope, anyway.
You got a first goal scorer?
I'll have a word with Gareth and see who he's thinking of starting, but I think Luke Shaw's going to grab the early goal. I mean, he's an absolute screamer against Ukraine, and I think he's going to grab the early goal.
Well, you've gone for a defender there, and I'll just show you what I've got here. I've actually gone for an England 2-1 win, and I actually think Stones will be grabbing the first goal. In a big game like that, you often see defenders get goals in the big games. Yeah, they probably both will be with the defenders, put them in there, but I think it'll be 2-1. I do think that we're going to do it. I'm actually going to go to Wembley if we do it on Sunday. I'm not actually there, but I'll be outside the ground somewhere, absolute lunatic somewhere around London. That's it, yeah. Literally like you at Goodwood last season, you'll probably get like a little video for a gap in a break at Wembley or something. I'll do what I can, but yeah, it's going to be an excellent weekend. Now, Jack and I, obviously, we won't have our video going up on Thursday. Usually we film that on a Wednesday night. We're clearly not going to be filming that this week due to England playing, but we're going to be filming it on Thursday night, coming to you guys on Friday, so slightly later, where we're going to be previewing the Falmouth Stakes, the July Cup Stakes. We won't give any clues away, but Jack and I have been fairly confident on a couple of horses, but we are praying. We're looking out the window right now, and the weather isn't helping our selections.
Stay
So they
away.
may not stay. We might not keep our selections as they are in our head at the moment, but if they do, if the rain does stay away, then I think we've got a couple of decent bets for you this weekend. But very much looking forward to that. So yeah, we're with you on Friday. But thanks for watching. Subscribe if you haven't already, and just remember, it's coming home.